Good afternoon to you all and welcome from me, Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, to UBC Lunchtime News this Monday, the 29th day of April 2024. We're coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. Now, youth in Wamunanika and Luero district have been urged to embrace government scaling programs in order to improve their livelihood. Now, this was during an engagement with the Mayor, Wamunanika Town Council, Paul Salabwa, who implored the youth to seize any opportunity to access gainful employment. We have more in this story.
The Uganda Bureau of Statistics shows that unemployment increased from 6.54% in 2021 to 6.58% in 2022. This prompted the government of Uganda to embark on skilling the youth through various projects to curb the increasing unemployment. However, some rural areas have not embraced these projects due to the negative mindset. The mayor of Wamunanika constituency, Paul Salabwa, has donated welding and popcorn machines to the youth to fight the increasing unemployment rates in his constituency. He further cited the need for the youth to put aside political differences and use the existing programs for their social welfare development.
Government yendala abantu tebasomanga na kutuka ku university balinga mu duka era bakozesa nnyo programu za government zegaba nga Paris model basobole okuzikozesa abavubuka zibatumbule kubanga tuzigaba ku bantu abakatandika wansi.
They further carried out a community cleaning program with the patients and ended up with a sports tournament.
Today we were at the main hospital of Wamunanika constituency, Koko Health Center for Hospital, and to my surprise, the hospital was well organized. It had all our wards, but the most challenges they were having were the limited beds for our mothers in their ward, and also the drugs. So we urge the government to come and step in to give us a helping hand, because this is our hospital and we have been really left behind by
Rebecca Nantongo, Susan Inabugude, UBC News.
Now, Minister for Lands, Judith Nabakova, has tipped youth to avoid peer groups that can end their lives prematurely. Nabakova is concerned about the increasing cases of drug abuse. She was officiating this year's Youth Day celebrations for Mityana Diocese. Onyango Robert gives us more.
Every April, the Catholic youth in Mityana convene to celebrate Mass together in what is known as the Youth Diocese Day. This year's celebrations have been held at Mityana Diocese Cathedral with the Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakova, gracing it as the chief guest. The celebration liturgical mass has been led by the chairperson of the Uganda Episcopal Conference, Right Reverend Bishop Anthony Ziwa. Addressing the youth, the Lands Minister Judith Nabakova decried the increasing levels of drug abuse among the peers.
We are seeing many youths who are taking drugs, and such drugs are not good. They are crimes that are committed, crimes that are associated with drug abuse, which is not good for our society and for our children.
Mr. Nabakova therefore encourages the youth to embrace developments for the better future.
His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, has been emphasizing the youth. The youth are priority on our agenda as NRM government. There are so many programs, and these programs, when they are designed, they are targeting the youth. We have the Youth Livelihood Program, which is 100% youth. We have the PDM, 30% of the PDM funds are for the youths. We have the Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program. Women who are youth, they can also benefit from those funds. And now we have a Myoga, where the youth also have Omoga, which is called Omoga Gwabavubuka. So if they participate in those programs, they can improve their social well-being, but they can also look after their families well and look after even their siblings well.
Uganda ranks high among the top countries with the youngest population in the world, and if not well managed, there is a lot to worry about. Robert Nyanga, UBC News.
Now, mobilization Baraza program on service delivery in Bukoma Nsimbi, Kalungu district in Greater Masaka region is taking shape. Now, this program was introduced in the country by the Office of the President under the directive of the Minister for Presidency, Mbili Babalanda Babiri, to monitor government programs, and it is under the theme Mobilization Program on Service Delivery for Wealth Creation. We have more in this story.
In her opening remarks, Sister Mary Grace Akiroro, the Commissioner Northern Region, while in Masaka with Major Martha Asimwe, said that citizens should be on the lookout for these funds which were given to them by the local government officials and to see if they were used by the local citizens. While here, Sister Akiroro urged them to be vigilant.
Teamwork produces results. Can never work alone. Absence of teamwork derails the whole system. And when we talk about service delivery, friends, brothers, sisters, let us not mix politics with this.
The chairman of LOC5 Kalungu District, Ahmed Nyombi Muchibi, informed the team of the different challenges they are facing, which include late arrival of money in quarters, the inappropriate funds, and asked the government to increase on their funding because the revenue they collect in the district is less.
These challenges may not be unique to Masaka State, but we have understaffing. We have few staff. We have 108 out of the expected 174 health workers. This one affects effective service delivery. Then the other one is the lack of funds, wage, because we must have wage if we are to recruit additional health workers.
The PDM officer Kalungu explained that funds were given out to the beneficiaries. However, some defaulted and were arrested. Mr. Matovu Honesty further noted with concern that since it was COVID time, people used the money extravagantly, thinking it was a package from President Museveni.
Out of the 614 enterprise groups, 214 were women. 166 groups are made up of youth. And 15 groups are for the PWDs, people with disabilities. And we had one group for the elderly. Then 218 groups. We termed it as mixed groups because it had both women and men and the others.
Don't permit us to use any of this money to hire equipment. So sometimes we have money, but we are stuck. We have to keep on begging around for equipment. And in most cases, the time we receive money is the same time when our neighbors also have received money.
When we get funds, wherever it comes from, I don't have money in my pocket. Everybody knows money comes from government. Who doesn't know that? But if it comes from government and it doesn't do what it is supposed to do, then the problem comes on accountability. So because we have got this small money and used it appropriately, you thank us because you can see what we are doing.
Beneficiaries are crying. They were actually worried that the man is back in office and he has started from where he stopped. So when he noticed that we had taken this matter seriously, he started making individual calls to people who were going to report him, intimidating them.
The RDC Kalungu district confirmed all the arrests, and the Committee for District Service Delivery and Assessment, which was launched by the officers from the President's office, Major Martha Asimu and Sister Grace Mary Akerol. The team is supposed to meet quarterly to analyze and report on service delivery and economic performance in the district.
Now, National Children Authority has organized a community dialogue in Mbale City with religious leaders, police, cultural leaders, local council leaders to address the increasing number of street children. The National Children Authority boss, Martin Kiza, decried increasing child neglect by parents. At least over 25,000 children are on the streets across Uganda, up from 15,000 in 2014.
For discriminating against their children, besides neglect of responsibilities, which has increased the number of children on the streets. Probation Social Welfare Officer in charge of Industrial City Division, Kalenda Sarah, says in Mbale City, children between 5 to 17 years are ever on streets and are engaged in child labor.
In Mbale, we have so many children on streets, and it is becoming a big threat to our communities, to our service providers, and everyone around. The reason as to why these children are ending up on the street, the parents have forgotten their role as parents. There is a lot of domestic violence within the communities, and the children are the ones who suffer as a consequence.
This was during training by National Children Authority to align responsibility of police, parents, religious leaders and local leaders. The Executive Director, National Children Authority, Martin Kiza, appealed to parents to refocus their responsibility.
Most of the parents in the region have neglected, have not played their roles responsibly as parents. And that's why they say really that children have been running to the streets. We've also discovered that particularly the fathers do not really take much interest in knowing, getting to know what affects their children. Most of the parents, the male parents, the fathers.
Some leaders explained causes of children to run on the streets.
But the ones torturing those children, if you hear from those children their stories, parents, take your responsibilities. We have free education. Take responsibility of taking care of your children. Buy food. It is hunger which is making even these children come to streets.
Meanwhile, leaders living in Jinja and Busoga districts also spoke about child abuse.
Abaami balesa amaka gaibwe. Abaami baleka amaka gaibwe eyo ifike.
The National Children Authority, led by Martin Kiza, gave them training and advice on how to deal with children's issues.
So parents, please, you must sit down, talk to the children, both of you, the mother and the father.
We found out that Mbale City is among the leading, especially in terms of the numbers. They have so many children who are on the streets. So
street children are homeless, and over 25,000 on streets in Uganda, 10,000 in Kampala, and 500 in Mbale City alone. Benon Mukwaya, Kayumba Stephen, UBC.
Let's cross to Karamoja sub-region now, where challenges of distant schools, poor infrastructure, insecurity, forced marriages and parental neglect have impeded student education completion. Educators have united to improve completion rates, responding to the call for collective action against challenges.
Lower primary classes in Karamoja are overcrowded, with over 100 learners per class. This reduced significantly in higher grades, thus affecting completion rates. Poverty, negative cultural views, and lack of resources hinder education, worsened by inadequate infrastructure and water scarcity.
Child of 6 years of age living here in Akichumet, all of you know Akichumet, walking every day to Matani Primary School, those about 10 kilometers. Can that child stay in school? That you are walking 10 kilometers, one journey, coming back 10 kilometers. You're walking about 20 kilometers every day. And that's why you see the dropout rate is high. Some of the children dropping out is because they cannot persist walking long distances to the nearest primary school.
Like lack of parental support, poor parental styles. Children are on their own, they want education, but the literacy of the parents bar them from. They don't really know.
Not every household will send the children to school. There are those that the parents will say, yes, let this one go and look after animals. Yes. Even in my family, as a district chairman, when my father made a decision to take me to school, there are those who are the firstborn and those behind me. All were taken to go and graze cows, look after animals.
But this population varies according to month. In the beginning of the year, around February, March, especially February, the enrollment is too high. But when it reaches March, the number drops, especially for the grown-up girls and boys. Why? Because they go to the gardens to help their parents dig or maybe graze the animals. That's one. Then around this season again, you find that this month, the crops are flowering in the gardens. So these very parents here tend to take back the children to take care of the crops by scaring birds.
Despite nationwide struggles, some students excel, but UNEB exam results from Kampala have worsened educational challenges in the region. Urgent action is needed to uplift education in Karamoja and raise completion rates, ensuring a brighter future for the youth.
Also thinking about putting in place ordinances and bylaws that will in the end be able to act as like a law that guards the child from getting out of school prematurely.
Joint effort from the LOC 5, LOC 3, LOC 2, LOC 1, SMC chairperson and its board, PTA and its board. So those people should have now what we call routine monitoring, joint monitoring, go back to school campaign, so that each man's voice or each woman's voice is heard.
Have affirmative action for Karamoja, and if not for Karamoja, at least for Nabilatuk district, being a young district.
Compulsory, forceful, and free education.
17 minutes after 1 in the studios of UBC TV. We'll now take a short break and return with the latest in business.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Banyeta ko Muhangi Donata, the chairperson wa group. I
am the chairperson of this group that got money. The group is called Kalsandala HIV/AIDS Craftswomen Group. UWEP gave us money in 2017 and they gave us 3.3 million Ugandan shillings. We used it in 1 year and got 23 million out of it. We do baskets and kitchen gardens, and we also have a saving group. We thank UWEP because this money helped us as women. Women can now educate their children and build houses because many of them are single mothers. We work without jealousy because we want to leave a legacy that even those who will be around tomorrow will appreciate.
Ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalippagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripsi. Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *185*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu eya Uganda.
Welcome back from that break, and this is the lunchtime news here on UBC TV. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Let's have a look at an item in business. The East Africa Entrepreneurship Association has partnered with CM Bari, an Italian organization, to help Ugandan entrepreneurs improve their innovations and access European markets. Now, business people and entities that will benefit in this initiative will have to send their proposals to the East Africa Entrepreneurship Association, which is spearheading the Start Up 10 project in Uganda, with each successful entity getting 5,000 euros and training in their relevant field of trade. The East Africa Entrepreneurship Association Country Director George Masenjere elaborates on what they are looking for in this initiative.
Of course, we are looking for startups, particularly in the agribusiness sector, at the same time also green and blue and green economy. Now, when I talk about startups in agribusiness, that rings a bell. Here we are looking at those who are in production of agricultural products, those who are in value addition still in agricultural production, those who are involved in technology for agricultural production. And then when we talk about green, we are looking at startups that are looking at ideas that try to sustainably manage the environment, looking at the green environment, looking at vegetation, forest, looking at tourism, because you see Uganda, we are really a tourism country, so this is, most people who are in the tourism business will be candidates for that. Now in tourism, we are looking at how best can somebody who is providing food, if you are dealing with your chapati Rolex, how can you take it to another level so that it can be appreciated by other people? Those who are looking for nature-based tourism, chimpanzees, how can they come? What innovation can you bring on board so that people can come and tour? And then those who are dealing probably with the lake, what is it that you can do so that you bring in people to participate? Every participating entity, startup, will benefit 5,000 starters, but then it will also, after the winning startup, will get a package of industrializing, commercializing, and then marketing the product together with an Italian company. If the Italian company is dealing probably with packaging, then the Italian government together with the European Union will finance.
International news now. We got to neighboring Somalia, where women ATMIS force contributing countries set up to ensure peace in Somalia after the Al-Shabaab attacks to raise Somalia have applauded the UN and ATMIS for providing them with experience and job opportunities. Our reporter Ivan Juko had an engagement with some of these women and now reports.
Chantelo wa Maria, an individual police officer attached to Naguru police station in Uganda and an inspector of police in ATMIS force, a resident of Chisoro, prepares to start her daily routine as a member driver. Wa Maria first analyzes the condition of her car from the outer look, checking the tires before entry.
You see, when we are setting off our cars,
okay. Wa Maria, before starting the engine, first cross-checks with the interior system.
Goes above 6, That's when I know now that my car is ready to start.
To ascertain her capability, I went on to a road drive with her in various camps in Mogadishu. She says she initiated the idea from fellow women whom she met to do the same job upon arrival in Somalia.
They always train us for 2 weeks. And if you are interested, when you are interested in learning something, you don't need a lot of time to learn. So they train us for only 2 weeks. But because we drive them daily, you keep gaining experience.
Even though she does the job with passion, she lives in miserable threat of attacks anytime.
They do, because they are always there on the road, but we always maneuver. We always maneuver them. We love them. We drive slowly. When they refuse to go off-road, we have to give them time.
Despite the experience and skills given to her by ATMIS, Maria will miss the opportunity to drive this type of vehicle once she returns home, as the local police doesn't permit this.
Because even in Uganda, we don't have ladies who drive these big cars. Yes. But unfortunately, maybe in Uganda, they don't allow officers to drive. You can't be a police driver when you're an officer. That's the unfortunate part of it. But if they would allow us, I would be very happy to drive those big cars in police.
Maria, however, cites challenges she faces in the execution of her work.
Civilians who see us around here, we don't normally talk to them because we are just passing through. So we don't talk to them. But
Dorcas Ndagwa from Kenya lauded ATMIS for the opportunity granted to her, which has seen her progress in life.
Driving Mambas, especially for me, it's a great opportunity because back home, I've never had this chance of driving such big vehicles. Despite us having them, it is considered as vehicles for men only. So for me, it's a big opportunity. I've had the exposure, the experience. I've been driving them here for 3 months. We thank God.
I'm Waiva Njuko for UBC.
Sports news now, and we begin with swimming, where the Uganda Swim League 2 happened at the Kings Park Arena in Bweyogerere over the weekend. Now, swimmers improved their personal best times as they set their eyes on the nationals.
Take them on.
The second swimming league meet of the calendar year saw great improvements for many athletes who made personal best times. One of the most outstanding young swimmers, Jaguar Swim Club's Peyton Subi, impressed with a time of 4 minutes 58 seconds in the 400 freestyle that was better than any male or female of all age categories.
I made a PB in 50 fly, I made 31, and in 400 freestyle, I made 458.
Many swimmers are now setting their eyes on the national championship that is set for June.
My expectations for nationals are to break PBs, to keep engaging in the sport, and making sure that I improve on my swimming any chance I get.
We're hoping to have even more PBs. We're hoping to get points. We are the only club that has swimmers in only one age group. So our competition is always stiffer with other clubs.
Uganda para-athlete and African record holder Husna Kukundakwe says the nationals will help gauge her and prepare her ahead of the Paralympics in Paris this summer.
Looking forward to coming nationals, which are the ultimate event of Uganda. And I can't wait to see lots of people come back from all over the world to compete at nationals. And also, I'm very, very excited to compete in the Paris Paralympics.
Mashamira Victor,